Finance 101 for Kids, Money Lessons Children Cannot Afford to Miss, by Walter Andal. Chapter 1. What is finance? Money, anything acceptable that can be used to exchange for goods and services. Goods, real items that can be seen and touched. I love to teach about money because money is valuable and useful. It has become an important part of our everyday lives. Money enables us to buy goods like video games, clothes, books and smartphones. Many people enjoy shopping. With money, you can buy many of the things you want. Services, work that is provided by another person. Spend, using your money for payments or purchases. Save, setting aside your money for future use. Money also allows you to obtain services. Your parents pay a mechanic to repair the car, a gardener to mow the lawn, a plumber to fix a water leak, and a doctor to check on you when you get sick. You may not know this, but the electricity, the cable TV, and the internet services you use at home are available to you because of money. When you receive money, you have a choice to either spend it or save all, or some of it, for future use. There is nothing wrong with spending money, especially for buying goods and services you truly need. However, saving money is also very important because it helps you prepare for the expensive items you need to purchase in the future, such as a college education, a car, and a house. More importantly, saving money allows you to better handle unexpected expenses and emergencies that can happen in the future. Investing, putting money somewhere it can grow. Savings, money set aside for future use. Charities, organizations that provide help for those in need. What is exciting about money is that it can grow when it is put in the right place. This is called investing. Any person, young or old, can invest savings and earn more money. The sooner you start to invest your money, the bigger your savings can grow over time. Here is the best part. Besides spending, saving and investing, did you know that money empowers a person to help a community? With money, you can support charities and make a difference in someone's life. It surely feels great when you are able to help someone and contribute to a worthy cause. You'll learn more about this later. Because there are so many wonderful things you can do with money, nearly everyone dreams of having lots of it. But money is not easy to come by. Have you heard of the expression, money does not grow on trees? This means money is not something you can easily get like picking an apple from a tree. People need to work hard in order to earn their money. Are your parents working? Most parents work for a living. Grown-ups normally work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Some work even longer than that. Making money takes a lot of time, energy and skill. But the rewards of having a job can be far more than just making the money. Helping to create something, giving back to the community, handling an interesting service, all of these and more are good things that come from having a job. Investments. Something that you purchase with the hope that it will provide income or will be more valuable in the future. There are also some not so good realities you need to face when dealing with money. When someone spends more than what he or she makes, that person could end up with no money in the future. Sometimes people can also lose money when they put their savings into the wrong investments. When you don't properly manage and protect your money, you can lose it. You get stressed out when you lose that hard-earned money, especially when you cannot buy things that you really need. Finance, the way money is obtained, managed and used. Learning how to make money and how to take care of your earnings is a responsibility that you cannot take for granted. This is where the knowledge of finance becomes very useful. Finance, in a nutshell, is the process of managing money. Learning finance will help you make good choices when it is time for you to decide on how you will earn and make money. More importantly, understanding how money works allows you to make smarter decisions as you spend, save and invest your money. This is a great day to learn finance. There is more to come in the following chapters. Chapter 2. Money. How did it all start? Thousands of years ago, before money was developed, people were self-sufficient. They took care of themselves and their children in their small villages. Life was pretty simple. They survived primarily by means of hunting. When they ran out of their food supply, they moved from one place to another. During that time, there was no need for money. Specialize. Choosing one thing to be really good at. Productivity. Being able to make goods or provide services. Bartering. The exchange of goods and services without the use of money. As time went by, many people developed special skills. Some learned to raise cattle, pigs and sheep. A few became good at planting crops and grains, while some developed skills in fishing, carpentry, mining and crafting. People learned to specialize, which means to choose one thing to be really good at. With specialization, productivity increased, meaning that people produced more than what they needed. Specialization encouraged people to trade with each other for goods they were unable to produce or for tasks that they could not perform. For example, a farmer would need help of a carpenter to build a house, and a carpenter would need a farmer to get food. Trading started, but no paper bills or coins were used. People then were bartering. Bartering is the exchange of goods and services without the use of money. It is similar to trading baseball cards, swapping video games, or switching homemade lunches with your buddies. Before money was developed, a farmer could trade a cow for 2 pigs, or a carpenter could offer to build a barn in exchange for food and tools. Bartering works as long as one person finds another person willing to trade and accept the goods or services being exchanged. But it does not always work. If the cow farmer believes that the value of his cow is at least equal to 2 pigs, what will happen if he cannot find a pig farmer who has 2 pigs to trade? What if the pig farmer only has 1 small pig? Will the cow farmer trade his cow for bread or a tool instead? Most likely, the cow farmer will not trade his cow if he cannot find something that is at least of the same value. And if he cannot find one, no exchange will take place. Therefore, bartering does not always work, as it can be difficult to find a match for the items being traded. Instrument of exchange. Anything that can be used to make a trade. Transaction. Buying or selling of goods and services. Note. A piece of paper that promises to pay the holder. As trading expanded, people learned to trade more goods, including precious metals such as gold and silver. Because gold was rare, beautiful and could be molded into bars, gold was accepted as a common form of payment. The value of the gold was determined by its weight. Trading thrived because gold was widely accepted as an instrument of exchange. The use of gold for trading has its own drawbacks. When the transactions became bigger, the traders were burdened with carrying heavy loads. Can you imagine how much gold a trader needed to bring if he wanted to buy a farm or a big boat? The solution? Traders found it easier to leave their gold with another person like a goldsmith or a banker for safekeeping. The goldsmiths and banks issued notes written on paper stating how much gold had been left with them. The person holding the note had the option to go to the bank and exchange the note with gold, or he could continue to use the note for other transactions. Guess what happened next? Because the notes were valued by actual gold, the notes circulated in the marketplace. Traders accepted those notes as payments for goods and services. As a result, notes or paper bills, $1 bills, $5 bills, $20 bills, etc., became regular instruments of exchange. Coins started out as gold and silver, but soon changed into copper and other mixed metals. Interestingly, the money you use today is no longer backed by gold, and the paper itself used to print money has very little value or worth. So the question you might have is, why does my money remain valuable? Government. The group of people who leads a nation or a community. Guarantee. A promise that a condition will be fulfilled. Stability. Being strong and less likely to change or fail. To keep your money valuable, the government has to guarantee its value. A guarantee is a promise that a certain condition will be fulfilled. The value of the money you use today is guaranteed by the government, and you trust the government's guarantee. This system of the government providing their guarantee and the people trusting the government helps maintain the stability and value of our money. Chapter 3. How to earn money. Income. Money received from someone else. Salary. The payment to the worker for the service done. Business. An activity that brings income through selling goods or services. Employee. A person working for another person or organization for pay. Employer. The person or organization providing the jobs. Corporation. An organization formed by a group of people acting together. A corporation can be a company or a business too. People need income to obtain money. There are many forms of income. It can be received in the form of a salary. It can be earned as a profit from having a business. It can be from an investment. Or it can be a gift from friends and family. Let's look at some different sources of income. A. Working for someone. To earn money, you need to work for it. Most grown-ups earn money by having jobs. A person who works for someone is called an employee, while the one who provides the job is called the employer. The employer may be an individual person, a corporation, or the government. The employee receives a salary as payment for the work that was done for the employer. What does your parent do for a living? Have you thought of the type of work you want to do when you grow up? Some jobs pay more, but may require more schooling or training. The chart below shows some jobs you may want to consider in the future. The chart also displays the average yearly salary in the United States and the amount of schooling and training needed to get into these occupations. Salary estimates in the United States 2015. Airline pilot, $101,000. 4 years in college, training in a flight academy, plus a lot of flight experience. Carpenter, $41,000. 3 to 4 years of training. Computer programmer, $58,000. 2 to 4 years in college. Dentist, $123,000. 4 years in college plus 4 years in dental school. Doctor/physician, $138,000. 4 years in college plus 4 years in medical school, then at least 3 years of residency and training. Primary school teacher, $41,000. 4 years in college. Electrical engineer, $70,000. 4 to 5 years in college. Financial analyst, $56,000. 4 years in college. Firefighter, $43,000. 2 to 4 years in college plus training in a fire academy. Lawyer, $77,000. 4 years in college plus 3 years in law school. Police officer, $48,000. 2 to 4 years in college plus training in a police academy. Registered nurse, $57,000. 2 to 4 years in college. When choosing a career, you need to remember this. You should look not only at the salary or the prestige associated with the work. It is also very important that you enjoy the kind of work you do. B. Working for yourself, providing goods or services. Self-employed. A person who earns a living by working for himself or herself. Profit. The money made from running a business as a result of having more revenues and expenses. Have you met someone who owns a store, a shop, a business, or a restaurant? These people earn money by working for themselves instead of working for an employer. They are referred to as self-employed or business owners. They make money by having a profit from the businesses they own. Revenue. The money made from selling goods or services. Expense. The money spent from running the business. The profit can be figured out by adding up all the revenues and subtracting all the expenses. The revenues are the income made by the business from selling their goods or services. Expenses are the money spent for running the business. Expenses may include the money used to pay for materials, office supplies, equipment, rent, and employee salaries. The basic formula to figure out profit is profit equals revenues minus expenses. A business makes a profit when the total revenue is greater than the total expenses. The goal of every self-employed person, just like most business organizations, is to consistently make a good profit. A profitable business means the owners are making money. The profit can be used to grow and expand the business. Loss. The opposite of profit, the result of having more expenses than revenues. When the expenses are greater than the revenue, the business is experiencing a loss. During a loss, more money goes out than the money that comes in. No self-employed person or business organization wants to have a loss. If the business continues to experience a loss, the owners may be forced to shut down the business. Chapter 4. The Power of Money. A. Making your money work for you. Interest. The payment for the use of money. Deposit. Putting money in a bank. Your money can grow over time because of the interest it can earn when deposited in a bank. Interest is the money the bank pays you so that they can use your money for its own investments. In other words, banks pay you interest because you deposit your money. You are allowing them to use your money for their business. Principal. The original amount of money invested. Interest rate. The percentage rate paid for the use of money. Term. A period of time for an investment or a loan. To figure out the amount of interest, you need to know three numbers. The original amount of money, also known as the principal. The annual or yearly interest rate. The interest rate is the rate paid for the use of money and is shown as a percent. The length of time the money will be left in the bank, also known as the term. These three numbers are multiplied together to get the amount of interest earned. Interest equals amount of money, or principal, times interest rate, times the time, or term. As an example, let's say George deposited $1,000 of his savings to save more bank. This bank is paying 3% interest per year. How much interest will he receive in 3 years? Using the formula we just learnt, interest equals $1,000 times 3% times 3 years. So, George's interest will be $90. George's $1,000 will earn $90 in 3 years, or $30 per year. The $90 earned in 3 years may not seem very exciting, but how much money will George earn in 3 years if he keeps his $1,000 savings under his bed? 0. That $90 of interest earned in 3 years is much better than no interest at all. Now think of how much interest George will earn if he increases the amount of money he deposits into the bank. Add 2 zeros to his initial deposit, making his total deposit $100,000. His interest for 3 years will be $9,000. We just add 2 zeros to the interest earned. This is equal to $3,000 per year. Pretty good, right? B. Money works for others too. Depositor. A person or an organization that puts money in the bank. Borrower. A person or an organization that uses someone else's money for a period of time. Lender. A person or an organization that lends money in order to make a profit. Just like most businesses, the banks operate to make profits. Because banks have money from their depositors or the people who put money into the banks can lend that money to its own clients. The banks make money by lending the money at a higher interest rate than what the bank pays you in interest. To show how banks make profits, assume that one of Save More Bank's clients, Chloe, borrowed $1,000 to buy a new oven for her bake shop. In this scenario, Chloe became a borrower, while Save More Bank became a lender. Save More Bank used the money George deposited earlier and lent it to Chloe. If Save More Bank charged 7% interest to Chloe, how much will she pay if she used the borrowed money for 3 years? Using the same formula you learned earlier, you figure out the interest like this. Interest equals $1,000 times 7% times 3 years, interest $210. At the end of the 3rd year, Chloe will pay $210 to Save More Bank. This $210 is revenue for the bank. So how much profit does the bank make from this simple transaction? Go back and use the basic formula on how profit is made. Profit equals revenues minus expenses. Profit equals $210 interest from Chloe minus $90 interest paid to George. Profit $120. This is a simple illustration of how a bank makes money through the use of your deposits. Banks have many clients who put their money into the bank and many clients who borrow money from the bank. For example, Bank of America listed in its website that in 2014 it had more than $1.1 trillion in deposits and made a whopping $4.8 billion profit. The interest rates that banks offer to its depositors and borrowers are not fixed. Rates can change over time because of different factors. For example, in the year 2000, some banks were paying interest rates of up to 5% to the people who put their money at the bank. The downside of this was that people who needed to borrow money had to pay higher interest rates. This was necessary so the banks could make money. In comparison, the interest rate paid by banks to its depositors went down to less than 1% in 2014. People who depended on income from their bank deposits were hurt by the low interest rates. Nevertheless, the low interest rates were good news for people who had to borrow the money. This means that the interest they paid to the bank for big purchases like houses and cars was lower compared to what they paid 15 years before.